Network Entertainment.
I've never met an ugly voice. I know that people misuse their voices.
Oh, misuse.
Misuse. They push their vocal folds too much or the voice is trapped. You can hear it eh. Hindi talaga free yung boses. As in, nandito lang talaga.
And what causes that?
When you're a baby, diba you can cry for hours?
Yes.
Do they lose their voices?
Oh, no.
No. It's because children have that freedom.
Oh.
It's when we grow up and we get exposed to problems, our parents fighting, trauma, bullying,
Psychological.
and being told that, oh, you speak too loud, you speak too
what
soft.
you said earlier.
Speak up, don't you be quiet. So
Right.
you're sending mixed signals to these children. So as you grow up, you build walls. There are studies on trauma and the voice, how your past, and you don't realize it, it's not in your head, but trapped yung boses mo.
Hi, this is Mirza Season. Welcome to You Can Do This, a podcast that'll help you achieve your dreams and goals one episode at a time. What are you waiting for? Let's go!
Ever cringe when you hear the sound of your own voice? Maybe you've been told that it's too soft, it's too loud, too squeaky or shrill, or lacking confidence and authority. So you hesitate to use it in meetings, presentations, recordings, or even conversations. Good news. Your best voice ever is achievable. And today, our guest experts are going to help unlock it for you. Back on the show are my voice coaches and mentors and two of the country's most iconic voices, certified Vocal Yoga HLM coaches who have been teaching their best voice ever workshops for over 20 years. You'll recognize her from countless TV and movie appearances and hosting engagements, and her voice from ads for Dove, Cebu Pacific, Pond, Smart, and Second Avenue, and voiceovers for major events like Binibining PIlipinas. Ooh. I'm sure you'll remember his voice from countless commercials and movie trailer voiceovers in his 30 years of experience as a broadcaster, events host, and talent trainer. Together, they're launching VoiceCon, a conference designed to help professionals, leaders, and content creators speak with confidence and impact. Please welcome Joyce, Burton, Titular, and Ron Titular.
We will clap for ourselves.
Nakaka-nervyos because my voice coaches are here.
Ang ganda-ganda ng boses mo. Ikaw talaga.
We are proud of your sound.
Super proud.
Thank you. And so tell us about VoiceCon. What's your vision for this conference and who is it for?
Well, this was born out of our usual workshop, but Joyce and I wanted to make sure that we started a community, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is for people who value the value of voice, I think is a good way to say it, though. And people from the business people, podcasters, people who just...
Vloggers, of course.
Right? And those who want to feel more comfortable with their own voice. That's who it's for.
Occupational voice users.
That's a good phrase.
What are occupational voice users?
People who need their voices for their jobs. So
Okay.
you can be in sales. You
Right.
could be a manager who always faces the media.
You
Right.
could
And
be
you
a teacher,
could be a teacher
a
or
preacher, a pastor.
Yeah.
Actually, anyone.
Well,
anyone. But
To,
this
yeah.
VoiceCon is going to be specifically geared toward business people.
All right.
More or less, but anybody who falls outside of business can use what we will be teaching at VoiceCon.
Great. So excited. And thank you for picking me to host VoiceCon.
Oh, that's right. You're the host.
yeah.
Ta-da!
Right.
Ta-da! See how effective it is.
Super.
Yeah, we're excited to be with you there.
I'm
Marissa.
terrified,
And-
but because
Oh, it's going to be fun.
have
Very
confidence
fun.
in me.
Yes.
Of course. we're just going to have fun that day. We're going to talk about voice and we're going to talk about everybody's voices. We're going to hear each other's voice and we're going to learn how to just relax. I think that's really the first thing. We just have to relax because relaxed people have better and happier voices.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Marissa
So
did
that's
that.
why I am
Wind blows
smiling
through me.
as I speak. You taught me that.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a fun day, too, because we've got some guest speakers that we're
Yes.
so excited about. We have
Right.
Francis Kong.
Yes.
He's going to be our keynote speaker.
Income Magnay.
She's going to be on our guest panel. And we also have Chinky Tan, who will be
All
joining
right.
us as long as the signal is strong
He's
and
gonna
clear.
be in the UK.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
He's gonna
so
go live from
he's
UK.
gonna go live from the UK to talk to everyone. But we have a backup, lecture
All right.
which we shot already, just in case the connection.
Well, he's
is
gonna
not
teach us
good.
how to monetize
I
our
know.
voices. So
And yes, you can. May pera talaga sa boses. You can monetize your voice whether directly, like you get paid for your voice, or for example, just sealing a contract, sealing a
Right.
deal, talking to a client, convincing them to buy your product. You use your voice so you can make money that way.
Right. So when it started out, we were thinking, our partners who convinced us to do this said, let's do a workshop. And after a while, we were thinking, and Joyce says, let's invite other people who use their voice effectively.
yeah,
And
sayang
let's
naman.
and let's also invite people who know voice and know about voice as well. So we are going to have two voice specialists, some
Yes.
doctors to join us.
Okay.
And they're going to help us understand how voice is produced.
The science
Yes,
of voice.
as well as how to take better care of your voice. Right. And,
And we have the entire association as our partners. They're called PALP. And it's a very complicated, it's a long word there, a few long words. It's the Philippine Academy of
laryngo.
Laryngo,
of,
pharyngo.
of laryngo, bronchoesophageal, and phoniatrics.
Wow.
Yeah. So
got
I
it.
promise by April 26, when VoiceCon happens, I can say it fast.
That is
I
a
will
true
rehearse.
mouthful.
I know, right?
Right.
So they're our partners. So we'll have a lot of ENT doctors there who specialize
Right.
in voice, in head and neck surgery, and all of that. And they're going to be there in attendance, and hopefully we can get some of them to, just. If people have any, I have a,
Yeah.
why is my voice like this? And they might be
Right.
able to give consultations.
Right. Great.
You'll also meet my mentor. He's going to be
Oh,
giving a
wow.
little talk. Mike Padero.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah, he's a
Legend
sound
of broadcast,
engineer,
a sound engineer and a-
acoustician.
There you go.
I hope I said it right. Yeah, but he's
Wow.
an acoustics guy.
And a legend in the field of broadcast here in the Philippines.
So the mentor of
Right.
mentors.
I know.
I'm excited to have him here. He's going to talk about the best microphones to use.
Okay.
And how to use them
How
properly.
to choose them,
Okay.
how to use them. And then we will have one more speaker who's a successful vlogger. He has his own boot camp for content creators. Real Talk Darbs is going to talk about content that converts and how your voice is important
Right.
to making content that converts.
So you can't miss that.
I know.
We'll give you the details later.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
meanwhile, I have to ask. So what motivated you to transition from using your voices professionally to giving back and teaching others?
Wow. The short answer, the long answer.
Short. Kasi marami pa ako ituturo.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay, so basically, we discovered over the years of teaching people within the broadcasting industry and as professional voiceovers that the things we were learning, we had learned and we were teaching was actually beneficial for people outside of broadcasting.
Okay.
And in one of the schools we teach at internationally, on a yearly basis, most of our students were outside of broadcasting, and this is when we started doing internet radio as well.
Oh.
So those students of ours did more than just going on the air or doing videos or podcasts for a radio or shall we say, traditional type of broadcasting. They were doing presenting outside. They were going to their home organizations and making reports. So we discovered that they came back with a
Or
lot
they
of
went back
confidence. Or they
home.
went back home with
a lot of
confidence.
confidence after spending a week.
Okay.
A week with
wow.
us, because we'd go there, we'd stay a week. They called it Voice Week because they're there to learn about media. And then we have Voice Week. So we go there for a week and we guide them step by step. We make them enjoy their voices. Basically, that's really
Yeah,
what we
it's,
do. We just make them enjoy their voices, discover their voices can do. And they always went home more confident about presenting and speaking. And so that's
when
we moved into just teaching people
Yeah.
who are interested in voice.
Because our partners there is a ministry group, and our ministry partner said, could you guys teach more about using the voice?
Right.
So
And more about confidence.
Right.
That's what he was asking. And so we started shifting into just a voice workshop for anybody who uses their voice a lot.
Right. And what did these, I guess, non-industry people realize about unlocking the power of their voice?
Oh, that they had a voice. No, seriously.
We all have a voice.
That's right. Because people, over the years, we've discovered how disconnected people have become from their voices. And so they're so afraid to use it. The more afraid they are to use it, the less familiar they are with their own voice.
We had this one student who walked into class one day. He's from Ethiopia.
Okay.
And his name is Tinsei. And the second he spoke on a microphone, Ron and I were like,
Amazing.
this guy is raw talent. We could really hear it. So,
But he didn't think so.
yeah, remember?
Yeah, I remember. He was like, oh.
Yeah, he's like, huh? My voice is nice. And we were like, yeah. You've got a broadcast quality voice.
Yeah.
Just train it a bit more. And then after class was over, we went back home. He went back to Ethiopia. And then he
right.
got in touch with Ron maybe a month later.
Probably a month later. And he had a project that a church group had asked him to
A video project.
video and also do the voiceover. So he did the video, but he was kind of, afraid of doing the voiceover.
In English.
In English.
Okay. In
So he
English.
sent me a copy of what he did, and we went back and forth maybe 2 or 3 times. And after that, I said, you're good. It'll just get better along the way. And sure enough, today he has his own podcast. He has got
He's a
lots of-
voiceover
yeah,
now in Ethiopia.
One of the most in-demand voiceovers.
Inspiring.
In their language and in English. So he's one of our success stories.
Yeah.
So is there such a thing as a bad voice versus a good voice? Like if you say everybody has a voice, everyone can unlock the power of their voice.
I like the way Joyce says it. She goes, I've never met an ugly voice.
I've never met an
Really?
ugly voice. I know that people misuse their voices.
Oh, misuse.
Misuse. So
How
I've never
so?
really. How so? They push their vocal folds too much, or the voice is trapped. And actually, if the voice is trapped, that's not really pangit or ugly. It's when they force too much.
What do you mean by
speak out of
trapped?
range? Trapped. You can hear it eh. Hindi talaga free yung boses. As in, nandito lang talaga.
And what causes that?
Okay.
Anxiety?
Well, the thing is, when we're children, you have to start from the beginning. When you're a baby, diba you can cry for hours?
Yes.
Do they lose their voices?
Oh, no.
No. Did you see the video of that kid in that
Oh, my
8-hour flight who was yelling and yelling? And
great.
he was crawling all over the airplane seats. He was going,
Never lost his voice.
he never lost his voice throughout the whole 8-hour trip. It's because children have that freedom.
Oh.
It's when we grow up and we get exposed to problems, our parents fighting, trauma, bullying,
Psychological.
and being told that, oh, you speak too loud, you speak
Yeah,
too
what you
soft.
said earlier.
Speak up, don't you be quiet. So
Right.
you're sending mixed signals to these children. So as you grow up, you build walls.
Oh my gosh.
You got trauma maybe.
right.
You've got things that you've never talked about and you've got trapped within you. And there's a whole world when you talk about trauma and the voice. There are books
Oh my
on
goodness.
trauma and the voice. There are studies on trauma and the voice. How your past, and you don't realize it, it's not in your head, but trapped yung boses mo.
And if you think about it, our voice is the very essence of who we are. It's how we express ourselves.
It's our identity in the air.
I read somewhere too that grown women with baby voices have some sort of disturbing trauma.
I know.
So let's talk about like people with
Wait, it's also cultural.
baby. Oh,
Yeah, it's cultural. Oh,
Falsetto
even
Japanese.
even in Thailand, because they have a tonal language.
Oh, yeah.
So I
Kapkun
noticed
ka.
that kapkun ka. So but it's so hard naman na kung
culture.
culture mo yon na sasabihin mo it's because of trauma. It's really it's
Right.
many
Many things.
many
Factors.
things
A lot
that
of
can
factors.
that can
Right.
cause that.
Right. So can anyone really improve if you say all of you never met an ugly voice? So meaning, if we all worked on our voices, we could all sound like you two.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I mean, syempre,
you will sound better.
Yes, barring yung mga, syempre may mga defects that can affect how we speak,
Right,
no?
right.
But yes, you definitely can improve resonance, clarity, watching out with your volume, making sure you use resonance to get your voice out there rather than volume. Diba? So, because if you use volume, and even that, if when I increased my volume, it was still controlled. I didn't,
Right.
screech.
Right.
And even that, there's some control because if you have tired vocals or tired vocal folds or tired throat or voice all the time, then chances are you're just misusing your voice.
Right.
Yeah. And it's really no biggie if you know how to reset or if you know how to pull back or if you catch yourself, okay, I'm talking too much and using my throat only kasi yan, ito, throat power to. If I talk like this, and Filipinos, di ba, we talk like this?
Yeah.
When I talk to my friends, I sound like this because I don't know.
It's cultural. I think it's cultural the way that
diba?
Joyce
We
said
get
earlier.
throaty
They're
and
cultural ways to speak.
like that.
So like the
diba?
Maricel Soriano Taray voice in movies, it's throaty.
And it's in our culture to be throaty when we're with our barkada. So kapag nagkakantuhan tayo, if you notice my voice is,
You shift.
you hear, it's throaty.
Yeah. Okay.
But not because I'm very trained, I can just shift back to my chest tone.
Right.
And have a calmer sound, but I don't stop my throaty voice when I see my friends. I go back to my throaty.
So pag business
chika.
voice, paano naman?
Yun, business voice. Yun yung pag-uusapan sa
Okay.
VoiceCon, PH.
Yeah.
So, pag business voice, kailangan may authority, pero kailangan may warmth. Hindi naman, you can't, just be always authority and be bossy.
Right.
You need to be the boss of your voice, the boss of your message, the boss of your story, the boss of whatever you're gonna say, but not the boss of the person you're talking to.
Right.
So I have to establish control, but you can't establish control if your voice is not free, right? What are you gonna control kung trap ang boses mo?
How about
if i-free muna natin yan, and then we can talk about reining it in.
Ganun pala.
Yeah.
Ang daming techniques and skills. Yung bedroom voice naman. Iba yan ng
Parang natural.
nag-work.
No?
When you met her and she
Natural
said,
na boses ni Ron
what a
yan.
voice.
Yeah.
Akala ko ba your mom said you sounded like Mickey Mouse?
Yes.
Which isn't that weird?
Yeah. That's what she said when I was on the air for the first time. I'd go home and she'd say, you sound like Mickey Mouse. She would say, speak slower. Open your mouth.
She's the first mentor pala.
She was the
So
first.
paano naman yung bedroom voice? Saan nanggagaling?
Well, bedroom voice is also very chesty. You can even go down to a soft voice,
Right.
which is less chest and it's more, it's more here. No, more of a forward sound. So, and you can drop down to not a whisper, because whispering, did you know that whispering, if you whisper too much, it's bad for your vocal folds?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you are ordered to have vocal rest, don't whisper. Use a soft voice na lang if you really have to speak, because whispering is okay as long as
Paano
you
yung
don't
soft
do it.
voice versus whisper?
Okay. This is a whisper.
Okay. Yeah, it's all
And then I'll use a soft voice. Can you hear the difference?
Yes.
This is a whisper.
Yes.
This is a soft voice.
Okay.
Now, can you tell me
we're all
what the
whispering.
difference is? Yes. That's right. Okay. So whisper is this without activating the vocal cords, vocal folds. It's all air. It's all air. And one of our guest doctors at VoiceCon will tell you that that's just as bad for your throat, your voice folds as screaming. Okay.
As shouting.
As shouting. Now, a soft voice, you'll activate the vocal folds at the minimum required amount of activation to get the voice out. Now, most people don't know how to control that. So that's when you start to get into the point of being what we know as an overdoer. A voice overdoer.
A vocal overdoer.
Yeah. So you use too much air to produce a sound when you don't need to use that much air. So I like to say, if you can find that point between the whisper and the softest voice you can produce, then you've got control. A lot of people think, oh, if I can have a powerful voice, that means I have to be loud.
Right.
For me, it's you have a powerful voice when you can control the amount of air needed to produce a voice.
Right. And maraming host na sumisigaw, di ba?
Well, isa pa yan.
Cultural din yun again.
Cultural
I
din
think so.
yan. Oo. Kasi siguro, I don't know, I'm no psychologist, but I feel like Filipinos, we like to fill our time because life is hard. We like to fill time with loud, happy things. You know, firecrackers.
It's not a bad thing.
We want ingay. We like karaoke. We love to be, you know, it's not a bad thing.
We have a loud culture.
Definitely. We have a loud culture when it comes to parties. And then all of a sudden, in the meeting room, people will clam up. Right? Only the boss and
Exactly.
only the boss and the bossy ones are talking. And then you'll have a big population of your employees who will clam up.
Tahimik.
Pero pag nasa karaoke yan, silang nauuna. So it's cultural. And then of course we see it on TV that we have hosts who really shout or on stage, lalo na when they're on stage. It's a big audience. And it's also excitement. I have worked as a voiceover. When I voice over for Binibining Pilipinas, I get so caught up in the excitement. I'm yelling too. And that's, that shouldn't be the case. I should not be yelling, but because na-overwhelm ako.
Kahit pang Araneta Coliseum.
Pang Araneta Coliseum, sumisigaw na ako. Of course, hindi maganda yon. So I know the feeling of being so caught up in the moment. You're just yelling your head off. And, that's definitely not good for my voice. It's not good for the TV broadcast, right? It's okay for the audience because they're all screaming, you're screaming. But of course, the people watching on TV, hindi maganda sa tenga nila yun na ako sumisigaw. Ako yung Vionets, ako sumisigaw. But I know the feeling of being a host who gets so caught up. So,
I thought it was expected.
And it's
In
expected
a lot of ways.
kasi yan na yung style. And there are ways to shout carefully. There are ways, and that's what I've been studying. I've been studying under a group called Vocal Combat, and they're based in the US, and they teach people how to use their voice to the extreme. So I've been studying under them because sometimes I need to do some barking announcements, which is really more for a guy.
Guys,
Iba kasi ang vocal folds ng guys eh.
Yeah.
They're a little bigger, a little longer. Ang female vocal folds are a bit thinner and a bit shorter.
Yeah. So when guys do that loud barking sound, they can get it under control. It sounds okay. But for most females who try to produce that sound, it gets screechy, and squeaky.
Yes,
so, but there is a technique.
There are techniques.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Nikki Porter, and I'd like to invite you to catch the episodes of Nuggets of Nikki, a podcast where I share bite-sized insights as a relationship coach. Because, in case you haven't noticed, healthy relationships these days seem very hard to come by. Everyone seems to be dealing with their own ish, right? They don't want to commit when they deep down want a relationship. They want to connect with their partner, but they ignore them instead. They know that something's bothering them, but they don't tell their partner, so they resent them over time. The usual stuff. Through each episode, we'll work through all the different variables at play that might be keeping you from becoming an empathic partner by first figuring out how you can be a worthy partner for yourself. If this sounds like your type of podcast, be sure to give Nuggets of Nikki a follow. Then let's get to it.
And speaking of techniques, we have a mini workshop here. An excerpt from Voice with matching código. Take it away, Joyce.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about 5 hacks to upgrade your voice. And I'm going to shoot through this really fast, but not. Okay. I'll shoot through it really fast, but not. So first thing is straighten up to free the breath. I know, right? It's like everyone's straight.
Just the breast.
Like, no, not the breasts, but breath.
Okay.
We have to be careful with our words.
Yes.
So the problem is technology has made us all have shrimp posture.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Diba? Asan yung
Down
cellphone?
laptop,
Nakaganyan na
text
tayo.
neck.
Yung ulo natin naka-forward. And the problem with this kind of posture is it limits your lung capacity by as much as 30%.
Oh, okay.
Parang taxes. Masakit, di ba? Do you know, di ba, your budget is severely cut if you have to pay 30%. Same thing, if you have to sacrifice 30% of your lung capacity, your voice is gonna be affected. Okay, so you need to straighten up, and I'm gonna teach you something called Brugger's posture, which is actually a posture reset. Okay, which you can do 2 or 3 times in the middle of the day when you feel like, oh my gosh, I've been on my laptop too long. So here, easy. Brugger's posture. Thumbs up. Yeah, good. Now, open it up, keeping your elbows close to your body. Yeah. Okay. Better to do this standing, but you can do this sitting. And then now stretch it out like angel's wings. Do you feel your shoulders?
Yes.
Now point it down. Point your arms down.
Oh.
Yeah. Now point your thumbs backwards. Ooh, do you feel the stretch,
Yes.
Mirza?
I do.
Yeah. Now hold that. Take a deep breath. And exhale. And then you can just release and shake. So do that. Make sure your arms are kind of like Naruto ready. You know,
So
kind of in a
shoulders
V,
back.
in a V shape. Well, the shoulders are gonna
Pull
naturally. You don't
automatically.
even need
Yeah.
to.
Oh, because
You don't
of
even
the-
need
okay.
to manipulate your shoulders to get that nice, big, beautiful stretch. Hold it for just a minute. Do it every hour, every 2 hours in the middle of your workday, and it will reset your posture. It will, you know how you're all in that shrimp posture. This will sort of undo it.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the first one. Second hack, breathe well. Okay, one big issue because again of technology. Have you ever noticed when you're on your cell phone or you're watching Netflix?
You're holding your breath.
There you go. There you go. All right. Now, so how does this affect you as a public speaker? I mean, you're just holding your breath, right? But breath holding drives anxiety.
Might explain a lot.
Yep.
If you are a chronic breath holder,
You're gonna exhale.
chances are you deal with anxiety. We all experience stress, right? But you see a few people who are so zen, even if they experience stress, it's because they breathe. They breathe through the stress. So our suggestion is the second you catch yourself holding your breath while playing a game, looking at your phone, typing on your laptop because you're reading this frightening email from your boss. So the second you realize, I'm holding my breath, then you can do what Ron and I call a foundational breath.
Right. Foundational breath is very simple to do. What it is you take 4 counts breathing in.
Through the nose.
Oh, nose.
And then 6 counts
And then 6 counts
breathing out. So technically
Through
you
the
can,
nose pa rin.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll do it.
Okay.
Ready.
Okay, so inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Until 10. Okay.
6 makes 10 all in all.
Okay. Now we're going to do it again, but when you say, okay, a whisper, keep your mouth closed.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to do it again. So breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So I hope you heard like you had an ocean in your throat. Is that what it sounded like?
No.
It should. It should because you're saying, but
like in
with
yoga.
but like in yoga,
Yes.
like the ocean breath in
Right,
yoga.
right,
So
right.
and only you should hear it.
Okay.
Okay, only you should hear it. So if you do 6 of those, you'll bring your heart rate down. So that's only 1 minute, huh? 6 of those because it's 10 counts per breath. It'll bring your heart rate down. It'll bring you from fight or flight down to rest and digest. And if you are going through a really severe situation, just keep on breathing. Keep on breathing the 4-6 or the foundational breath. It'll help you keep your head above the waters. And then when you see yourself holding your breath because you're on your tech, just do 1 or 2 foundational breaths to train your body to breathe. Because
Yeah.
when your body is trained to breathe, when a real emergency happens or if you're facing public speaking fear,
Right.
your body will launch naturally into the foundational.
into it, right?
You can get into it kaagad. Kasi may awareness
Good
ka
to
na
know.
eh.
Oo.
Okay.
Oo na, I'm a breath holder pala. Or ano din, kung shrimp posture ka, chances are shallow breathing. Hanggang dito ka lang. Do you know your lungs go all the way up here?
To your shoulders,
No.
yeah.
Your lungs go all the way up
Not
here.
just here.
It's not just down here, but you can see my lungs
Okay.
there. So it starts up really high. And so this posture induces shallow breathing. And shallow breathing, again, sends a signal to your central nervous system that you're not safe. Breath holding tells your nervous system
So fight or
you're
flight.
not
Yep, fight
you're
or
not
flight.
safe. Now, if you're breath holding because it is a breathing exercise or you're a swimmer, that's different. You're doing it
To control.
to
Learning
control. You're learning to control your breathing. But if you breath hold subconsciously, then you're driving anxiety.
And you wouldn't believe how many people I've trained where I have to tell them, breathe. Breathe. So I usually say, okay, a couple of, it's one of the basic tips I give. Smile, open your mouth, and breathe.
Right.
Yeah.
So don't
Breathe.
hold your
Breathe.
breath when looking at political posts. Don't
I
get
know, right?
agitated. You're like,
If you do get agitated, breathe
Breathe.
through.
That's it.
Breathe through the agitation because it's gonna help. Like
Right.
it won't launch you too far into anxiety. You'll be pulling yourself back to
Right.
rest and digest.
okay.
Number 3.
3.
People want to have resonant voices or well-modulated voices. So 3, get into the habit of humming.
Okay.
Humming. Like we can hum right now.
Okay.
Put your hand on your chest, one hand on the belly, and then take a deep breath. Let your bottom hand move forward. And then, wow, we sound so nice. Yan ang sikreto ng resonance. Gusto mong maging maganda ang boses mo? Ayan, speak just like this. So after you give a really long hum, say, "Hi, my name is Mirza." Okay?
Okay.
We'll do it. We'll hum, and then as soon as we're finished humming,
Okay.
just say, "Hi, my name is Mirza." Okay? Take that breath, belly breath. Hum.
Hi, my name is Mirza.
Oh, there you go. Listen to that. Okay. That is beautiful.
Hindi ako huminga.
diba?
That was beautiful. That was
Kailangan may natitirang breath.
Pwede ba mag-hum sa voice con pagpasok?
Yes, you can.
We're gonna be humming a lot.
So do that a lot, but
Do
don't
that
forget
a lot.
don't forget to put your hands down when you go in front of the crowd.
Yeah, of course. Nagpa-public speaking ka. tas
Welcome
ganyan.
to voice
Hello.
con.
Hi.
Okay, humming. You need to learn how to hum through your words. Number 4, smile, which is the tip you gave earlier, diba? Flat face equals flat voice, pero smiling face equals smiling voice.
Paano kung serious yung material?
Then, of course, serious ang face. Okay? Hindi ka pwede magbigay ng bad news tas naka-smile. Because your message, yes, your message and your voice always need to be
In sync.
aligned.
Yeah.
However, for basic exercises and practice, if you practice with a big mouth, equal to a smile, chances are you won't eat your words because your mouth is stretched.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Your mouth is stretched. So less chance of you eating your words. And then you will sound a bit louder because a bigger mouth, slightly bigger
Right.
sound. And bigger mouth gives you a brighter tone. So smile. You won't believe how many people struggle with smiling
While
while
they speak.
speaking. Okay, not everyone, but I'd say maybe 40% usually in my class, or maybe 30% struggle with smiling while speaking. So video yourself.
Yeah, we'll get people to smile. Joyce will go, smile. They're smiling. Okay, now speak. Okay, so today,
The default is sad.
automatically,
Ganon.
they're just not aware of it.
Right.
Yes. And all they need is awareness. All right. So number 5, ito yung pinakahuli, pero I'm so excited about my 5th hack because this is for people whose voices easily tire. You need to learn how to reset your voice. So how? Humming is one way. When you notice your voice is getting tired, start humming very gently. Wag yung Some people will hum really loud, no? But really soft and gentle. Second, sigh.
Sigh.
How do you feel?
Relieved.
Look, and your
Yes.
voice sounds so
Relax.
Really?
There you go.
Yes,
See, lumabas. Hindi na siya, hindi na siya ganun na siya. Kasi, okay, yawning. Just pretend to yawn.
It's a real yawn.
Okay, now say hi, I'm Mirza.
Hi, I'm Mirza.
There you go. Sa hinahanap mo kanina yung bedroom voice. The bedroom voice.
Mag-yon-yon ka,
Kailangan
tapos
mo antukin bago mag-record.
Oo nga, lalabas ang boses. Ito, swallowing.
Okay, inom mo.
And when you swallow, you're relaxing your vocal folds. And swallowing kasi,
Hello.
swallowing
Yes.
is connected to the rest and digest state.
Oh.
If you're in fight or flight, you can't stop and eat, right? That's why a lot of people who are really very anxious and they're in the middle of an emergency, they're not gonna eat. They're
Right.
gonna eat after when the whole emergency is over, because when you are freaking out and anxious, your digestive system shuts down. So swallowing
Okay.
will remind your body, in fact, eating a light meal. So when I'm really anxious, I need to go up on stage and I'm speaking to people that I'm, like maybe businessmen, because I'm not a business person, but I have to speak to businessmen. I get really nervous. Okay, just have a light meal right before I go up, because swallowing relaxes.
I can't even think of eating. Pag
Yes,
ganun.
you can't think of eating exactly because
You're
you
in
are
fight
in fight or flight.
flight.
So you need to take or even just take a few sips of water
Right.
to remind your body that, you're really in a safe space.
Okay.
Yeah, because your body can't tell the difference between being anxious about
In
public
mortal
speaking
danger.
or if you're being chased by a T-Rex.
So mag-stress eat ng slight.
Control.
Yes, control.
Control.
Konting kanin lang.
Well, that's the reason why people stress eat. Because
Yeah.
it's soothing. It's
Super.
soothing. So, be careful with eating, with swallowing also. If you're swallowing too much food, then you're going into a bad area
Right.
now. Okay, and then lip trills. Lip trills are when you just blow air through your lips.
Oh.
You can do it with voice. You're doing it with voice.
Oh.
You can do it with air only. And then you can do sirens. Just go up and down gently with your voice. And then release and say, hi,
Okay.
I'm Mirza.
Hi, I'm Mirza.
Di ba? Free na
Brighter.
free yung
Yung
boses
pala.
mo. Oo. And then here's my favorite, straw phonation.
Kaya pala may
Yeah,
dalang
may
straw.
May dala akong
Not for
straw.
the water.
Akala ko for
And
your
ito,
coffee.
Not for the coffee.
No, not for the
This is what you call it, a silicone straw. Please use straws that are not plastic. And once you have your silicone straw, don't it anymore. Don't keep
Are
on
we going to
buying.
use this in voice?
Yeah,
con?
we will. I will be teaching. So straw phonation, there are many ways to use a straw, but I'll just give you one tip. Just speak through it. It's hard to shout when you're speaking through a straw. And when you speak through the straw, dapat walang air na lumalabas sa ilong. Dapat ganyan. So we can actually hum. We'll hum first.
Okay.
And then we'll do the ABCs. So first is humming. Take a breath. And then... Very good, Mirza. Sige. No air is escaping through the nose. Very good. There you go. But as soon as you notice that your throat is starting to clench, stop na. So you
Okay.
don't need to, try to empty out.
Expel
No need.
all
Yeah.
the breath,
Now we're gonna do the alphabet, speaking through the straw, and then just observe. So you guys can do this at home. Just observe how your voice feels. Very good. Right. So until you reach Z, no? So why the straw? Try to shout. Is it hurting your throat? You're shouting it, shout, and tell me if it hurts your throat.
Well, I can feel it.
But you really have to push hard.
Yeah.
Right? So it's harder to do damage to your vocal folds when you're speaking through a straw.
Right.
Because speaking through a straw, or if you have no straw,
Do it, just make a pucker, like a pucker.
pucker up with a little hold. So you can do that also. It equalizes the balance of air above and below your vocal folds.
Right.
So it's very gentle. It's a reset. So I always have straws, and I have it. I have in my bag. I have in the house. I have in the car. Did I say yeah? And then I just will hum through it. And if I don't have my straw, I just or hoot like an owl. It's very, very relaxing on the vocal folds, and it lowers your larynx. When you're pushing your voice, your larynx goes a bit higher, and that causes a lot of tension, not just in the throat area, but your whole body gets affected by a tight larynx. So all of these resets bring your larynx down a little bit lower, which is much better for your voice. Right. So if you use your voice really like a lot and you lose it early in the day, do these exercises, do them all the time, do them just don't, go in front of your class and start okay, so you have to do it when no one's looking.
Right. Or hearing you.
Yeah, or hearing you. So, but these resets are going to help you preserve your voice so that you can speak all day if you have to. And it's going to kind of train you to start working on your chest tone rather than forcing
the
yelling
voice out.
and...
So it'll help you find that, what I was talking about earlier, what we were talking about earlier, that soft voice. Because it helps you control the amount of air needed to get a sound out.
Yes. And so last tip, if you have a microphone, use it.
Oh.
Use it. Don't, if there's a microphone, use it.
Use it.
Because you will really save a lot of energy and you have to treat your microphone like the ear of your audience. So you don't shout into the ear of a person, right? So if you're gonna shout, diba, singers, when they shout, they go far.
Kaya pala.
Diba?
Kaya
Respeto sa mic. Use a lower tone the closer you get to your microphone.
So for those they've been told, parang boses ipis ka.
Well,
Ano
then
yun?
I guess they're
Trapped.
They're trapped. Or it's throaty. It's how we speak, diba? Kasi nasanay na sila na ganun yung boses nila na galing talaga sa throat.
Default.
Now, of course, there will be a few, for example, fully grown man, but their voice has not crossed through puberty.
Right. Yeah.
It's rare, but it happens.
Yeah.
So one of our guest speakers, she corrects. She can correct situations like that. So, of course, there are medical situations where there's something that your voice does not match your image or your image of yourself, and that can really cause dissonance. Kasi, di ba, mabubuli ka. Ang laki-laki mong tao, di ba? Yun yung sasabihin nila, lalaki ka, kay lalaki mong tao.
Boses ipis.
Boses ipis or boses babae. Or kay babae mong tao, boses lalaki, di ba? I mean, of course, there's the bad end of that. But then the person themselves, they would prefer to sound maybe a certain way. So, if you are in an extreme situation and it's already a medical condition, there are doctors who can help.
So if there's only one voice hack or, I don't know, psychological hack that will empower everyone listening today to use their voice and use it effectively, and for them to go from, I hate my... Well,
to go from I hate my voice
to I love how I sound. What would that be?
That's a tough one, okay? But I would probably go with the one that first helped me get a breakthrough, and that is smile.
Right. Smile.
Yeah.
Makes a difference.
And I think we all need at least one person who believes in us.
Yes, I have two.
Hindi talaga, I'm telling you. And wag natin sila ipupush away. Because sometimes we put, like if our mom or our dad really, really believes in us, we push them away sometimes.
Parang you're just saying that.
Yeah. We do that. Let's stop doing that. When somebody believes in you and in your voice, hug them, embrace them, listen to them, because they are the ones who are going to fuel the uncorking or the unlocking or the unleashing of your voice.
And believe
Kasi
them.
you can do all the vocal exercise we've taught you. You know, you can go to 1,000,000 trainings. Pero if you don't have one person, if you have two, wow.
All the more.
Yeah, that's right.
Diba? If you have three, if you have a barkada that believes in you, then your voice will go places.
So important.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Would you like to invite them to VoiceCon?
Once again,
and
we're
tell
inviting
them the
you.
details.
Yeah, VoiceCon PH 2025. It's happening April 26th at the SMX Convention Center, Function Hall 5 in Manila. That's SMX Manila.
And for Mirsa, we'll give you a code for your...
Oh, yay.
Yeah, we're gonna give a code
Thank you.
to your followers. Sikreto lang to ha. Huwag niyo ipagkalat para sa inyo lang to ha. Okay.
We'll flash it once
May
we
secret
know.
code.
you can do it, okay?
Yeah.
You can do
it.
this, and you can do VoiceCon, and you can use the secret code, and I'll see you all there together with them. Thank you so
April 26th,
much.
right.
And
Thank you for listening to You Can Do This. If you want to know more about me, visit Mirza.com. That's MYRZA.com. And follow me at Mirza Season on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and LinkedIn. If you like this episode, please don't forget to rate it 5 stars. Hit the follow button on your podcast streaming platforms and hit the notification bell to get alerted every time we release a new episode. Catch you at our next convo, and always remember, you can do this.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.